This is Sabine1 Tutorials, and today I'm going to show you guys how to use the trajectory option on overlays. So right here is our video overlay. Right now we have ghost.png as our overlay, and it's overlaying just a color. We have our text here. Whoops. And this is what the intro looks like. This little trajectory looks like. These trajectories control what you want to do. In this case, I made an intro. Of course, I just screwed it up. So I'm gonna try this again. Play this again. The script not there. Then you set trajectory to make a cool looking intro for someone. He wanted a thing called Phantasmal Gaming, and I made him an intro. This intro consists of only fading text. If I make this disappear, this is all you see. You don't see the ghost. And you get Phantasmal Gaming. So, that's pretty simple. And I use trajectory to cover that up. Now we're going to go further into this. I'm going to click Edit Overlay to check out the overlay. So, we have here attributes. We don't really have to touch anything here. We'll do something with this in a later tutorial. All we want to do is worry about the trajectory. Where the ghost is going. Now, each thing here, each dot here is a point. Each point determines where your little image will go, or overlay will go. And you can do this with video, anything. Anything that's in your overlay tab can be in here. So if I play this, actually, I'll just do this manually. So if I drag this, you'll see the ghost, and he follows this trajectory line. He'll rotate through it, and he does that. I'm going to start off by making a new document to show you how to create your own trajectory, and then I'm going to go to explain further the more complex things. So I'm going to start a new project. See if I can find something quickly. Don't really need to put any thought into this. So I'll just add a color. Of course it's not appearing. Maybe I'll add this color. There we go. So here we go. We'll drag this into here. And right now, this image has no trajectory. If I click play, it's just going to stay there, do nothing. So we're going to go into trajectory. And you'll see that there's a few options here. A few presets. So you can do a straight line. Just goes from left to right. There's a spiral. A little squiggly. Another squiggly. Up and down squiggly. There's a few presets. We're just going to stick with a straight line. So all you have to do is to create a point is double click on the line. You can double click anywhere on the line. You can drag this point anywhere. You can drag it into the center of the line and it stays with the line. You can even bend the line. So let's see. I'm just going to do this. And if I click play, it's just going to go up and down. I can even adjust how long it's going to take to get to this point. If you look down here, you'll see that there's 3 points. And there's 3 points here. The beginning, the middle, this new thing I made, and the end of the line. Over here, you see the beginning point, the middle point, and the end of the line, the end point. So what I'm going to do is I can drag this anywhere I want. So if I want to go up there really fast, I can do that. If I want to take a really long time, I can drag this point all the way here. So this point up here was attached to this. And the farther across the timeline this is dragged, the longer it's going to take to get to this point. The closer it is to the beginning of the line, of this timeline, the quicker it's going to get to this point. So I'll just put that in the center. It will take a medium amount of time to get to both points. Here's another thing I can do. Not only can I mess around with how long it takes to get between each point, you can also do this with many other points. But for now, so not only can you get this to move to different points and adjust how long it takes to get to each point, you can modify what happens at each point. So here's the center point. If I decide I want to shrink this, maybe I'll shrink it really small or something, that small. If I drag this something across the timeline, you'll notice that it grows bigger. I'll play this, and it gets really small. Then all of a sudden, it grows back up again. AVS Video Editor. When you modify what the overlay looks like at a point, AVS Video Editor finds a way to transition that. It'll be kind of weird if you modify it at a point, and all of a sudden, this box moves. Then all of a sudden, it's shrunken at that point. So AVS Video Editor transitions it. Not only can I adjust the size, or the size it'll go to when it reaches a point, I can adjust its rotation. So if I decide I want the orientation of this to be completely upside down, what I mean by that is if I want this to be flipped upside down, AVS Video Editor will find a way to transition it to make it look smooth, make it go to that point without looking choppy. And it does a very good job at that. I told it that I wanted to go upside down at that point, and it does that. Of course, it'll go to this point, transition to that. But at this point, I didn't tell it to stay that way. I didn't tell it say how I want it to look at this end point. So it's going to go back. It's going to go back to how it was before. Now, if I rotate it like this, it's going to look a little different. It's going to still transition, and it's going to still look cool. Now, just for fun, I'm going to add a few more points. Maybe I'll do this. So now it's going to rotate, and it's going to follow that path. That sounds about simple enough. So now we're going to go back to what I first showed you guys, and I'm going to explain the rest, explain its insides, how it relates to what we're doing. So we'll go back to edit overlay in this project, go back to the trajectory, and at each point I'm telling it to rotate. At this point, all he had to do was rotate it. I rotated it. That's all I did. I rotated it to the side, and between these 2 points, this basically says at this point I want it to be straight, but at this point I said I want it to be tilted like that, tilted to the left. And it figured out the in-between and transitioned that. Same here. At this point I wanted this ghost to be upside down. Program figured out the in-between and transitioned it. Rotated it. At this point I wanted it to be tilted to the right. The program figured out the in-between. Same here. Same here. Same here. Actually, at this point right here, I told the program that I wanted the ghost to be tilted like this, and I also told it that I wanted it to be shrunken. I just adjusted the size of it, and it figured out the in-between and rotated it and shrunk it. At this point, I wanted it to be pointing straight up. The program figured out the in-between and did that. Then here to here, not much happens, but you get the point. So that's a tutorial about trajectory on AVS Video Editor. If you have any comments, suggestions, please email me at sabaniantutorials@thavia.com. Thank you.